All right, welcome back to the show. General Keith Kellogg, former U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine and AFPI Center for American Security co-chair. General Keith, thanks for coming back on. Do you think China wants a rapid end to the war? Do you think China's helping Iran? There are a lot of rumors. Mr. Trump seems to be denying it. What do you think?
Hi, Larry. Thanks for having me. Good to be with you. Yeah, I am absolutely sure China wants to end this because economically it hurts them as well. And the president really has this right. You know, he sent Vice President Vance over there, who did a great job over there. And he basically, what I mean by a great job is you had two contrasting styles come in there. You had a Raw Chief, their foreign minister, Galibov, their Speaker of the Parliament. They're both Revolutionary Guards kind of guy. They came in with something. Vance said, this is the way it's going to be out there. And he was smart. He basically took a page out of what President Trump wrote in The Art of the Deal. If it's a bad deal, you walk away. And he did. And it left him there. I think they were surprised when he did that, and he left him there. And it's going to impact everybody. When you look at the Gulf and how we do this blockade, let's let it go for 24 to 48 hours and see what happens. You know, remember, there's two sides to the Gulf. There's part of the Gulf that actually has fuel coming out of Saudi Arabia or coming out of Bahrain. The LPG comes out of Qatar. That's going to come out of the Gulf as well. What he's embargoing is the Iranian ports, and he's smart to do that. You know, and I got to remember something, Larry, and it's using a movie example. When it goes back to the old movie Gladiator that we both remembered, when you had Maximus, the general out there in the opening scene, when he went to his buddy Quintus, his deputy, they were fighting the Germanic tribes, and Quintus said, people should know when they're conquered. And Maximus said to him, would you? Would I? And so you've got two contrasting styles here. And our style is one and theirs is another. They're going to have to understand they're not playing with a full deck of cards right now. They don't have any of the advantages. If President Trump has to go hard, he can take Carg Island with the 82nd. He can take the islands in the Gulf with the Marines out there. We're going to sweep the islands with our minesweepers. We probably have the 4 that are in Japan coming in. We have the littoral combat ships with their ability to minesweep as well. We're going to clean the straits up real well. And if they shoot at one of our ships or they shoot at one of the ships coming through there, they've made a huge mistake. They just have to realize, they haven't yet, that they have none of the cards in this game. President Trump has it all, and they're dealing with a massive negotiation.
And
I think they realize that.
Let me flip the thing on China, because I would say China is one of the biggest losers in this whole game, not a winner, because after all, they need, and they've been buying that Iranian oil big time. Now, they've been buying it at a discount, but they're still buying a lot of it. I've seen numbers as high as 90% of the sales go to China. Throw in India, too. They're all big losers, and they're going to be big losers in this blockade, are they not?
Sure they are. I mean, economically they are, but here's the second part of it is China has to see what we all saw in the last 38 days. The same thing the Russians saw. We beat every system they gave to Iran militarily. We beat them all. And they gave a lot of equipment to the Iranians, so did the Russians as well. We punched right through that. So not only economically they're hurting, but their military, they're probably going to take a backseat. In fact, it's stated that a lot of their scientific advisors have kind of lost their jobs because they kind of bet on this one wrong. And I think everybody has to understand there's really no second. The United States of America is the preeminent superpower. President Trump is the preeminent leader in the world. And there's no second place. They're all third and fourth place.
And we are the eminent energy power in the world. And energy and oil politics playing a big role in this. Nobody knows them better than President Donald Trump. Anyway, General Keith Kellogg, thanks for your time. We appreciate it, Keith, very, very much.